But that's the thing. Like, it has to go somewhere, and that's kind of the central point. Is that like it's not actively doing anything? You know, the kind of way, like like
Yeah.
his comeback and his like big kind of like. By the way, this is the most sacked SmackDown finish ever. By the way, just
God.
like, isn't it? Like
That was a
that was
proper multi-man schmoz. I like that.
yeah,
Well, Cena stood in the ring taunting.
staying true to
Like,
form. That's how it should be done. But legit, like
Very
that's
fucking 90s.
that's yeah.
That's a 90s finish.
Looks like he's bailing out in a hurry. JBL and Cena are beating the hell out of Jericho.
That's why he bailed out.
Yeah.
Got the hell out of the ring.
It's almost like they weren't happy with a Canada victory.
You stick your nose in Smackdown business, you gotta expect to get it broken. And the number one contender ain't dumb. He's got a title match at Wrestlemania to stay healthy.
But which title will it be? Will he endure Theodore Long's challenges to get a WWE title match?
To be honest,
Way
like,
to Raw and face Triple H for the World Heavyweight title.
what a weird build to Mania.
Isn't it?
Ooh, choices.
Yep.
oh,
And the Wheel of Fate spun back to SmackDown. And thus continues Booker T's villain arc. Because remarkably enough, if you defect the Raw here, you become the babyface.
Yeah.
yeah,
That fits.
because you're
I kind of
already
like
you jump into an environment where like you have two established heels. Like so, yeah, you're the de facto
But
babyface.
that says a lot considering you're the guy who ran down an old man and you're considered a babyface. That should tell you everything about Raw.
It's
that's
in
what
the,
a prick Triple H was.
it's in the past.
Yes.
It would seem fitting after WrestleMania 19 for Booker to be like, I have tricked Triple H, and now I've gotten his ass kicked on several occasions, and now I'm taking it out.
True.
Booker T definitely should have won the belt back then.
Yeah.
Like without a fuck
God, yeah.
But he's staying
fucking doubt. Everyone knew it.
But I've got
Like-
to respect that. You feel me?
Supposedly the plan
Like,
had been
okay.
for him to win, and then
Yeah, and
Goldberg got signed, so they wanted a strong heel champion.
4 days away from the granddaddy of them all.
No, I think it was more just like an ego stroke. That's all it was.
John Cena, the night off.
Because I mean, like you look at that feud going into it, there was a lot of like racial
Booker
undertones.
needed to win from the way it was set up. The vindication was coming from
Yeah.
him winning.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, but like it didn't happen. Like you know that was definitely a fucking. That doesn't work for me, brother. Creative control, bosses, son-in-law.
Supposedly it was Goldberg, but
That's the line. That's
Remains
what
to
we're
be
told.
seen.
Yeah.
That's what we're being told. That Goldberg was signed.
Mm.
It wasn't Goldberg.
3 matches, huh? That's cute, Teddy. You know what?
This is a company I'm trying to work for.
These guys the night off.
Like I'm actively trying to get a job at this place, and like, yeah, I'm out. So I fit in. It's very wrestling, like where I'm like talking shit all the time just before like I get signed. Like, sing the praises, brother.
on a third party streaming you won't.
Yeah, exactly. In fairness, if you do get signed, this channel has to shut down. So fuck you, Foxy.
Like, well,
we'll just continue on without you. It's fine. We'll just find another referee to replace you.
No, that is
Good luck
when
to that.
Mile Fox no longer comes on Nerds to us, but Silver Fox comes to reality, never taking the mask off.
There you go. That works.
Ever.
I want to
Mr.
start
America.
voice detective.
I'll have that voice box like for like Kane back in the day.
You'll just use your Nathan Youngblood voice instead. This is Silver Fox. His balls have dropped since the RPG.
Like, Just the idea of it is just funny.
So this is the go-home show to WrestleMania, by the way. We have to have 3 matches in one night.
What's the Ben? We're going to lose all 3 of them.
Well, here's the thing, you see. If you don't win the first one, you don't get the other 2.
Here we go. This is the first
So in a weird
three
tactical thing, you like if Booker T was the heel here, he'd throw this first match so he didn't have to wrestle the other 2. But now he's such
he's locked in at Mania anyway, so
he's locked in the Mania anyway. Yeah, he's not like he's the only thing that's essentially like up for grabs here is that he can pick the stipulation. And if he doesn't win the gauntlet, then Teddy Long picks the stipulation. But sure, what else can Teddy Long do really? Like,
you've already gone through this.
Yeah, it's still a 50-50 chance of you winning the match, going by Steiner mats, of course. So this is pig iron, you know. Now, I'll remind you, folks, we've been down this road before in this season. What happened the last time Booker T had a submission match?
Booker doesn't have any submissions. Was that not a serious issue that occurred?
Yes, Jamie. Yes, there was a serious fucking issue, and it comes up fucking again!
Did you not do a bear hug just a little while ago?
That's not a submission. That was a wear down.
Folks will be staying with this match to the end.
As I learned 10 minutes into this fucking match.
Good thing too, Cole, because I don't think we'd ever hear the end of it if we cut away here.
You're probably right, Taz.
Enjoy the show, folks.
I don't like this game. I don't like this game. 2006 and fuck off.
But I will give it to later incarnations of the game. At least everyone has some submissions.
Yes, they definitely learned from this aspect of it when they try and get like, and in later games that you don't get the kind of the character choice either. You pick from like a set of 5 or whatever it is to do the campaign with, which is fair enough. Like they were getting bored really about this stuff. But yeah, like it's. Now this is also a submission move that I spent the entire like length of the match trying to find again and couldn't. Because all the permutations of controls, I could not find that submission one more time.
What game was it that had the...
You never know what to expect from these superstars, Cole. I mean, this could be over in 60 seconds or 60 minutes.
Well, it wouldn't break my heart if they went for an hour, Taz. I'm really enjoying this match.
If you can hear us, Foxy, you'll have to repeat that because your internet cut out.
What game was it that, like, when you pressed a certain direction, do you know, like, it'll transition into, like, you have your hard grapple, light grapple, quick move, and then it was also submission-based, like, offense.
I don't know. I see these games have those kind of when you're doing a grapple, if you pick any directional buttons, you get the section of those anyway. But I can't remember which game had them directly linked like that. I think it was one of the most recent games. I think have it done that way. I think I've only played it once now, so I actually don't know if I'm right or not. But I think some of the recent iterations are like that, aren't they, Jamie?
In all the recent games, you just press R2 and hold R2 and press circle, and anyone can do a submission from any, like, the various positions to set them up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I wasn't sure, like, which one, whether I got mixed up with. So
yeah. Like, I don't know if it's again, I haven't played the most recent game, and I don't know what the gameplay will be like for the next one, but I always like kind of figured for the kind of mechanics of a wrestling game, like you would, especially when you're making up a new your own character, like I think it would be sensible if you can kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and like introduce spots to the main world, because I mean, like, you've seen enough like wrestling now, especially when it gets to the indie kind of style, where you can kind of guess how like some matches are put together. So, like, you know, Reigns will always have his, like, transitions into the finishing move, whatever it is. So you can map that to be a certain combination, you know, kind of way.
They added in a thing this year, which is almost a step in that direction, specifically for him. where it's not assigned to him by default, but it's in the game and you can give it to him. That his finisher is now set up by putting your opponent in the corner, and then if you hit finisher, he'll run in, do the Superman punch. Your opponent will stumble out, they'll go to clothesline him, he'll duck, hit the ropes, and come back with the spear.
So there'll be a long setup, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have you guys ever played the game God Hand? It's an old PS2 title, quite obscure. But the real selling... Yeah, like it was one of those real kind of like Suda 51, like mindfuckery kind of games, you know? Very Japanese, very weird humor that is, like, in fairness, probably problematic now by today's standards. But the one selling point of that game is that you create your own combos. You basically decide, like, you have the buttons to yourself basically, and you set the combo whichever way you want it. Because you do have a literal God hand, so like you can once you hit, it's like one Punch Man. There was that before that show kind of became a thing, but and it's obviously quite comical in a different way. But the whole idea was that when you do the fighting game, you set the combos yourself, and it's up to you then to just to set them out. So you can make them as complicated as you want, or you can make them as simple as you want. I'm thinking that type of gameplay works well for wrestling, because if you're a high flyer, you would do like a complicated move set. If you can pull it off, then you do it. If you don't, you fuck it up, and then you lose control. Then you know.
You sin carry yourself.
Yeah.
The 2K14 had creative finisher mode.
That's right.
Which was quite similar to that, where you literally set up the motions, but you can link 4 or 5 moves together.
Yeah.
So it's like he power bombs him and then picks him up into a suplex and then picks him up into a. But yeah.
I do remember making a whopper finisher in that game, and it's one of those ones where, like, you know, if I did actually learn how to wrestle, I'd love to actually pull it off. But it's one of those ones where, like, it probably does actually hurt in a sense. Like, it looks believable in a sense. But it's also like one of those halfway house ones where, like, you need to do like an extra rotation to make it into a pin. But if you do make the extra rotation, it looks amazing. You know, kind of like it's one of those. What was it called?
And what was it?
So it starts off as an Argentine. So the Argentine is where, like, you're in the torture rack position. And then so basically it's a spin out from there. So it's a spin out Argentine. But the whole idea is that you can transition into a side package roll into the pin. So it's almost like you spin out and then double hook the legs in, and you're in the pin immediately. So in kayfabe, when you get hit with that move, you actually no recovery time for the pin.
Oh, nice.
Sounds relatively similar to Devlin's
side. It's very similar to it. He takes it from the side and uptake, but he has the same idea in the sense where, like, you grab, hook, in, and pin. There's no breathing space at all, and it's a very, very good move for that sense for a finisher. It's quite underrated, actually, I would say, as a finisher now. Because again, it makes logical sense. That is a finishing move because you've no breather in between.
So, like, gonna make a date the show a little bit, but like Dragunov returned on NXT.
Oh,
wonderful!
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. He's
fucking the clip that they put up though, like, he literally comes out, fucking torpedoes someone on the rampway, then gets down to the ring, gets in, and you think he's gonna go for Carmelo Hayes. He fucking jumps and dive bombs fucking Jordan with a whopper fucking like forearm to the face. Like,
I hope they got a kind of an angle where it looks like he's coming like away from the camera, but he's actually going towards Devlin instead. Was that kind of nice. Like, that's the way you should do it.
It looked as if he was gonna go for Carmella, and just like then he just jumped over towards Devlin.
Awesome.
I love Dragunov, and especially seeing him against Jordan, that's gonna be brilliant. Like, I like that they're continuing their feud to a degree. Anyone who hasn't seen like Dragunov versus Gunther or Walter at the time, wow, during lockdown, like, just wow. Like,
it was
both
genuinely
matches.
the match of the year that year.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Like, brutality.
It was very much the greatest hits of their WXW run. In fairness, it was like exactly the match they had. They would be happy. In fairness.
Yeah, like just the level of physicality that they could both put on, produce, and inflict on each other. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But no matter what, even without the crowd, they somehow managed to keep you captivated for it, which was very difficult to do with no
It was
fans.
the only match during that era that I really enjoyed, because like that, you take the crowd out, wrestling get fucking weird.
Yeah.
But that match kind of made you forget the crowd wasn't there, because it was just fucking weird.
Because every impact you're hearing, it's like all the chops, all the slaps, all the thing, the forearms. It's just
It's very much that's when like the crowd like didn't need to be there, and then like I'm thinking like I remember the opposite side of that was the one match where Gargano and Ciampa was like in like the one where there was no crowd there and they were talking their way through the entire match. It's like jump the shark, lads.
yeah.
Jump the shark. You know?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, even though like both of them are fantastic wrestlers, like and great at what they do, they just they couldn't handle not having a crowd there to disguise like, their calling.
But wasn't it like they had obviously disguised their calling, but they were kayfabe talking to each other during the match. It's like, this is what you did to me, Tommaso. This is what you did to me, Donny. It's like, lads, just fucking get already and be done with it.
Chill on the
Like,
melodrama.
it's literally needless. Like, it's not adding anything to the story.
Whereas like, oh, we're going slow mo. Holy shit!
Yeah, this is
Black
apparently
and
not.
white.
Yeah. This, of course, meaningless in a submission match.
Oh yeah, but still, just randomly like.
Yeah, I'm just using the momentum while I have it, you know.
To be fair, it was one of the 2K games actually had like doctor stoppage. If you injured your opponent enough, the referee would actually just call the match and they'd play a cutscene where the stretcher took him away.
That would be a game changer in this, because like it would just have been that get out of jail free cards for little like issues like this. Unfortunately, we're not at that stage yet, and unfortunately, you can be easily boxed in and fucked up here in this era.
The fact that like the one match where you actually need to go for a specific grab and it always gets countered.
But this is my issue that I'm having now, is that like at this stage I'm literally going, I know I have a neck crank. I remember what gives you a neck crank. But that's too weak. It's a terrible move. So I'm literally going through the motion of going, okay, I'm starting from the top. I'm going to work through every possible permutation to try and find a submission move that works. Again, this is also the issue in terms of picking a limb, because if, let's say, you're Kurt Angle, you have the ankle lock, you'll normally have a chop block or something that will work down legs, right? Booker doesn't have, so like he does have an armbar, which is great, but no other of his moves work on arms. So you might as well be doing an armbar for 25 minutes and you do as much fucking damage, you know. Now, of course, Devil's Advocate in the comments will probably say you could edit the moveset and then go again. So you could do that. Or I could complain about the game being shit, and I prefer to do that instead.
Were you even allowed to edit the moves back then?
Well, yeah. You were allowed to edit movesets, but I don't think some of them didn't count for season modes. I know when in the earlier games you could edit to your heart's content and fix it that way, because that's how I got Edge's Spear in, because when we were playing as Edge in SmackDown vs. Raw, he didn't have the spear as his finisher, it was just the execution.
Oh, fair enough.
So when we made that change, then he was able to do the spear at will. But as we've learned from watching those games, running finishers are a very fine art.
Yeah. Well, with you, yes.
Yes. Because my God, that was a fucking needlessly precise at times.
I love the ball. It's just like, please, just count the pin.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm genuinely trying to pin this fucker.
That's the law of the jungle, Cole.
Like I would love to take a pin in a submission match, but it's not an option.
Of the fittest.
And that also means that if you're not at 100%, you've got to be able to hide it from your opponent.
You got that right, Cole. This business is as psychological as it is physical. You can't let your opponent think they're easy pickings.
Well, I wouldn't consider any of these superstars.
Like Angle must have like 12 broken ribs at this stage from wrestling.
That was a textbook
Like,
reversal.
it still shows that like
That's the way you do it. Pick on an area and work it over.
That's what we've seen here tonight, and it's paying off.
Are you there?
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I think I went.
This isn't gross. This is now going into a New Japan territory in terms of match length. This is a crowd now perk up and start crying for a winner.
You just can't experience a thrill like this
Because they're
anywhere else.
they've had
And
enough.
of course, you ain't gonna see athletes like this anywhere else.
You certainly aren't.
Like, just
Yeah,
take it home.
Yeah, it's like let us go home. It's been 8 hours.
It's the show is 10 hours.
I just think it's unfortunate whenever a superstar decides to cheat to win rather than compete fairly.
And he'd rather that instead of 2 nights. No.
Split into even if you split that into 2 nights, that's still 5 hours each. Like that's too long for a
Yeah.
show.
No wrestling show could
Far
ever
too-
go 10 hours.
Moves at a crucial point could change the direction.
What
No
show?
show should ever go like
Wrestle Kingdom, the most recent one.
Jesus Christ.
Like it was
No.
8 hours plus a 2-hour pre-show.
These superstars are putting on a
That's-
clinic in there.
man.
Yeah,
Like I have a subscription to let's say Cyberfight. So basically, you will have access to Pro Wrestling Noah, DDT Wrestling,
You know,
Ganbare
Cole, the more I watch
Pro
this
Wrestling,
match, the
and
more I'm thinking
Tokyo
there's some
Joshi Pro
legitimate
Wrestling.
personal issues
So you have
here
access to
between
all
these
that.
superstars.
But some of the shows that I've tried to watch, some of them are 5 hours long,
It's hard not to take
easily.
something like that personally.
and it's just like, yeah, I can't stream that, can't
Yeah.
stream that. So that's far too long. I've gotten to the point where like,
You know,
if
we
I
see
am
some
gonna
pretty good
stream
back-and-forth
a watch
action
along
here,
of that,
but you
I'm
don't
skipping
see too many
matches.
matches ending.
Like
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I'm
And I
skipping
think
matches
we'll see one
just because it's
superstar
just
dominate the match
that's far too long.
before it's over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I like wrestling, but I don't like 5 hours of wrestling. Like,
I like
I think
accept it like
I think
once
it's-
a year for a Mania or a Wrestle Kingdom or a, you know,
yeah,
this
but
is
this is
our
a regular
fucking
thing.
showcase, but nah.
Yeah, this is their regular thing, like 5 hours, like or 4 hours, like, just
I certainly
like a
don't
nice
envy the
2.5
referee in
hour
this
show.
match.
There you go.
No kidding.
I'm happy with that.
Like we'd be giving out even over in this country if he went 4 hours every month.
Yeah.
Like that'd be ludicrous. Like we've had 4-hour OTT shows in the past. They're bad. Like
Yeah.
they drag on. You know the kind of way. Like we have a
Not that the matches are bad.
attendance
It's
time.
just
we get drunk. Like we get drunk and tired. So we burn out like as a crowd.
Yeah.
You know,
But fair, yeah, you end up with a crowd that's burnt out for your main event at that point.
Yeah.
And
which is
No
happened
one wants
in the
that.
last stadium show.
lose out on a crowd for your main event
Yeah.
because they have to go home.
Yeah, that's it. Like they're worried about fucking last buses and shit like this. You know, that's been the last few stadium shows. It's been like the crowd peak for the sub main event. You know, RVD Scotty, the crowd were fucking hot, and then suddenly Devlin Haskins was obviously like a fucking lead balloon then for a multitude of reasons.
It's crazy
Yeah.
to think they actually get
the one I
paid
always
for
recall
this.
was
There's thousands
the
of
culmination. The one I always recall for that was the culmination of the import killer gimmick when he was finally getting the belt, and
Yes.
Cody decided to do a half-hour promo.
Oh.
Arsehole of the show! It fucking murdered the show!
Yeah.
Fight out of him.
Famously.